Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is Thursday Tier Talk. As always, I'm joined by my partner on the show, Darren. How are we, Darren?
I am glorious, Niall.
Ready to bring this season
Football
on
is
back.
back. Yes, come
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
on.
been.
Oh, so long.
I don't know. What do you think has made this transfer window has just been an absolute pain in the arse, hasn't it?
I kind of think every transfer window's a bit of a pain in the arse, if I'm honest with you. I suppose, like from a United point of view, I suppose the old Frankie De Jong situation would have made it feel a little worse than it usually would, But
Hmm.
yeah, I don't like the window myself. When it's over, and I'm a bit happier about things, so I can just concentrate on the football.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kicks off tomorrow night. Crystal Palace versus Arsenal, which is going to be excellent. But before we get into that, we asked our viewers and we said we'd go through it ourselves. So tonight's going to be a little bit of a different show. We will touch on a few news articles if we have time towards the end. But really, what we're going to be looking at tonight is
We've got a lot to do now.
we have a lot to get through in this show in
There's
a
a lot
very
to get
short
through, son.
space of time. But first of
Absolutely.
all, what we're going to do is we're going to pick our top six in the league in order. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pick our relegation three, and then we're going to pick our top goal scorer. Um, so I had to look at the odds on all of these as well, because I think bar one or two picks, I think myself and yourself will be pretty close anyway, because we kind of talk about this stuff literally on a daily anyway.
On the
Um,
daily, Noel. On the
on the
daily.
daily, on the daily. So we'll start with that. We'll kick it off. Let's start with our. I suppose we'll start with our top six picks. Do you want to kick us off with your one?
I can kick us off, pal. We'll
Yeah,
go in order, right? So top of the pile, come May, I have Manchester City.
great.
Yeah, I don't think you can look away from City at the minute. Now, I think there's a couple of little areas in that squad I'd like to improve on. Obviously, the left back position, which they've tried to address with the Cucurella thing, but it looks now like he's on the way to Stamford Bridge to Chelsea. And I think they probably need another winger as well. I mentioned this to you off air, and I might have even mentioned it on air. They've
Mm,
let a lot go in Jesus and Sterling and in the goals that
mm,
the lads have. Now obviously they brought in Haaland, who's going to play through the middle, and they brought in Alvarez, who looked great and really lively when he came on and stuff. I
mm.
kind of feel like maybe they're just missing one more wide player. If
Yeah,
Haaland's injured, Alvarez plays through the middle, and that leaves you less options out wide to provide service and stuff like that. Now we know we can play without the false nine, or play with the false nine, I should say.
yeah,
So that they're not greatly in trouble here. But I would like to see. Well, if I was a City fan, which there's not many around, but if I was going to see that, I'd like to see a left back and maybe another attacker brought in for City. But I'm
yeah,
going to go for City top of it. I think
yeah,
I think Liverpool second place for me.
yeah.
I think Liverpool will
Great.
finish second.
Mm.
I think it'll be a title race again, if I'm honest. Um, I don't know if it'll go right down to the wire as it did this season, but I certainly think by the end of the year, by the end of the season, there won't be anything other than like five between them.
It'll
I
be the
think
difference in signing a goddamn midfielder and not signing a goddamn
mm,
midfielder. That'll be the goddamn difference.
possibly. Um, Third on the list, the best team in London this year will be Spurs.
Yeah,
Spurs to finish
that's
third
what
for
I
me.
have. We're spot on so far.
Um, this is a bit of an unfortunate one for me because in fourth place I have Chelsea.
Do you really?
Um, no.
I didn't think you. I knew. I knew you. I knew you wouldn't. I knew you wouldn't. As a matter of fact, I'd say you were nearly contemplating not even making top six.
No,
Yeah.
listen. In fourth place, the mighty Reds of Manchester.
Okay.
Um, listen. I'm holding on to hope here.
Yeah.
The hope is that a lot of those lads in that squad were being very undercoached, let's say, and were lads that weren't getting what they could get out of them. Eric has to be the guy that's able to get a few of these lads to play. And if he is, we know that there's talent in the squad that can do it, you know. I still think we're a couple of players short, but I do still think we're in the market. I still think we'll probably bring in another 3 between now and the end of the window. So looking at the squad as it is, it's still going to be, it's ever changing. Obviously, Alex Tellez left today. He's gone to Sevilla on loan and stuff like that. I think there's a couple of lads still to leave. There's a couple of lads to come in. I'm going for fourth with United. I'm hanging me hat in it. You know, the reason I have to have these 2 teams underneath United, by the way, is because I've had a bet with two fans. One is a Chelsea fan and one is an Arsenal fan. And if I finish off my top 6, I have Chelsea in 5th and I have Arsenal in 6th, both below United, because that means I'll also be in the money next year, thank God.
You'll have a lovely yellow Canante jersey anyway, that's for sure. Mark, evening, how are you? Thanks for joining us again. Question for you on Chelsea. Does their transfer strategy seem all over the place? They seem to be in for good players, but there seems to be no plan. Absolutely 100%. You're preaching to the converted here. Between myself and Darren, we've been talking that tune now, I'd say, for at least minimum of 2 weeks, maybe even longer. I'm
going to say 4. I'm going to say 4.
Possibly, yeah, absolutely. You're actually right, because it was about a week or 2 ago I actually commended you on your call on it and stuff like that. It was after the what was the game they played in, and they were all over the place pre-season.
Arsenal battered them 4-0.
Arsenal battered them 4-0. That was the one, yeah. And I was saying, good Lord, they have work to do. So, yeah, you're absolutely spot on, Mark. Just to let you know, Mark, what we're going through at the moment, if you want to drop yours into the comments as well, we're picking our top 6 in the Premier League, how they're going to finish the top 6. We're also going to do the bottom 3 and top goal scorer. So if you have any thoughts on that, drop it into the comments and we'll post it up here for you. But definitely, they have absolutely zero plan. Linked today now with Aubameyang. Stop the lights. Seriously. Right, that so sorry. You had Man United in 4th.
Man United in 4th. I have Chelsea in 5th.
No, you don't.
I do.
Do you? Really?
I do. Right. And I have Arsenal in 6th.
You have Arsenal in 6th.
Of Arsenal in 6th. And, like, to be honest with you, I feel like that's a bit unfair on Arsenal.
Yeah.
But I couldn't really make much of an argument for them finishing much higher either. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. The big red fella has arrived. All right, big red fella, what's happening? Good to have you in tonight. Mark is coming back. I'll give you Mark's 6 anyway. Number 1, he has Arsenal. I love it, Mark. That's what I want to hear. Positivity, supporting your club. The big red fella has City in at 1. Mark has City in at 2. He has Liverpool in at 3. He has Chelsea in at 4. And the big red fella has Liverpool 2, Spurs 3, United 4, Arsenal 5, and Chelsea 6. Mark has Spurs in 5th.
Big red fella has a pretty similar one to me, except I'd swap Arsenal and Chelsea. But other than that, we're the same.
Yeah, and he has United. He has United in 6th, Mark. I'll give you my 6 anyway. So we agreed all the way as far as Spurs, like Man City, Liverpool, Spurs. Again, I think it will be a tight title race, and I think Spurs will have an. I think Spurs will have an influence on it. Do you know who I have in 4th? Yeah, I didn't send it to you either, so I'll tell you who I have in 4th. I do have Arsenal in 4th.
Yeah, and you've United in 5th and Chelsea in 6th.
I have United in 5th and Chelsea in 6th. Yeah, spot on.
Niall, you're like my work wife, so I know everything about you, and I know how you're going to vote, pal.
Yeah, scary, isn't it? Scary that you would know. You'd nearly swear I'm sending you this stuff, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just wondering if Arteta does a little bit more business and brings in another 1 or 2 players. I just think we could be looking at I don't know. Did you watch the documentary today?
I haven't had a minute yet. No,
I watched the first 3 episodes. It's excellent. Excellent, really, really good. And I tell you what I took out of it, and Mark might agree with me here in the comments. That Emirates Stadium at night time lit up is a beautiful stadium. It's a beautiful stadium.
I gotta say,
it's worth every bit of the pain of knocking down Highbury. I have to say, it looks amazing.
I'm a big fan of both of those stadiums in North London. That new Spurs stadium and the Arsenal stadium, the Emirates, just phenomenal stadiums. Really, really phenomenal. There he is. The old
Yeah.
Tangerines are back.
Yeah, we'll be back into him now in a second. Mark, in fairness, I say every year Arsenal are going to win it, and that will never change. Mark, support your club. Support your
You
club to
can't
the
have
end of
blind
great.
optimism, Marky. What can you have, pal?
Yeah, that's what we want to hear. And if there was ever the year to get Row in right behind him now, this is the year to Row in right behind. Our
Oh,
resident referee has arrived on the scene. Mr. Blackpool himself. He has City first, Liverpool second, Spurs third, United fourth, Arsenal fifth, and Blackpool sixth. That might be next season, Mark. That mightn't be this season. Could be next season. He's also saying, go on, the lads. Right, where do we begin? Relegation.
Niall, you can go on the Rellos first.
Do you want me to start with my relegation?
Go on.
Not in any particular order now, right? I just picked the three.
Just pick the three. That's fine. Yeah,
I
that's
just
fine.
picked the three. Yeah, I didn't say who was going to be last, second last, third last, right? I went with Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth will be rock bottom. I don't think they've done enough to justify. I see they're trying to make a few signings at the moment and a few loan signings at the moment as well. And they just have shied away from spending a few bob.
Yeah.
In second place, let's say, I have Fulham. I think Fulham are in danger of going down. I'm not sure whether the Mitrovic of the Championship translates into the Mitrovic of the Premier League, and also losing the
No,
boy Carvalho as well. I think is
I'm
a
gonna
huge loss for them.
I'm gonna give you an opportunity. If you get the last one, you complete the set, and we have all three the same. Because my first two are Fulham and Bournemouth as well. So last one,
My
Niall.
my final one, and I was thinking about it today, and then news came through today of a certain player that's out injured for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and that cemented my decision. Everton. Everton is my third one. Calvert-Lewin out for the next 6 to 8 weeks with a training ground injury. So yeah, that's my three.
Ding, ding, ding! You win a prize.
That's it. Lovely.
I've matched it
Uh,
up with you, and I can see in the comments
the
the
big
big
red
red
fella
fella has gone with
has
Bournemouth, Everton, and Fulham as well. I
absolutely
think
knocked it
Everton
out of the
are
park.
in a huge amount of trouble.
Yeah, I was listening. I was thinking about after what you said the other night after the show. You were talking about like just where are the goals going to come from,
Yeah.
and then when I heard of Calvert-Lewin today, gone for 6 or 8 weeks or something like that, which typically with him tends to be 10 to 12 weeks if it's 6 to 8 weeks the prognosis. And like if
He's
they
the
don't
he's the
have him,
he's the Phil Jones at the top end of the pitch, isn't he? This guy,
yeah, absolutely, yeah, yeah.
you
But
know.
Bournemouth, Everton, and Fulham. Marcus back in. Mark gave us his picks here: Leeds, Bournemouth, and Brighton. Leeds, Bournemouth, and Brighton.
No way Brighton go down.
Definitely not Brighton.
Absolutely none.
Brighton play a lovely style of football, and they'll always pick up points on the way. Leeds,
Absolutely.
yeah, Mark, that's a good shout, Leeds, because I was sort of
Yeah.
flipping between Leeds and Everton, and myself and Darren spoke about it on the Tuesday night show as well.
Yeah.
Leeds is definitely one that could potentially be in there as well, but I think
They're gonna be in the relegation fight 100%. Yeah,
but I think
absolutely.
they've spent a few bob and they have brought in a couple of. There's a sprinkling after going in there, which
Absolutely.
hopefully should see them through okay. And sure, we'd never want Leeds to go down over Everton anyway. Mark's back in on here on Brighton. I feel Brighton are selling way too many of their good players. They are, but when you have a coach like Graham Potter there, he's able to coach some players. And I think Darren, you would reference as well. They had brought in one or two players as well, hadn't they?
Yeah, I think they're very, very good in the market, if I'm honest. Like, look at what they're going to do with the Cucurella boy. You know, that was 15 or 16 last year. And if he leaves at 50, you've over trebled your money on a left wing back. You know, like that gives Brighton the power to go out into the market now and maybe pick up 2 to 3 players for that starting 11 stroke squad. And obviously now the squad is so much more important this year, which are having 5 substitutions. Like if they went in and spent, and we know they do their homework on buying players, they've obviously picked up the boy Cachado from Ecuador, who United looked at. He's going to come in and take the Yves Bissouma spot. You've got they'll obviously go in and pick up a left back to balance the books with Cucurella. I know they're looking at the boy Levi Colwell, He's a Chelsea player. They're looking at he'll come in.
They're tying him into the deal, aren't they? That's the tie into the
No,
deal. That's why
it's
the
not.
deal was
It's not.
halted last night.
No, they're not tying it in. It's going to be done
No,
separately.
no. What I mean is it's two separate deals. But what
It's
they're
two
doing is
separate deals.
they're not signing off on the Cucurella deal until the Caldwell deal is signed off. That's the news that came through today. That's what held it up last night. Remember when they announced it last night and they had to backtrack? The reason they backtracked was they hadn't agreed all the details of the Caldwell deal. That's what that was.
Okay.
So that's it. That's going to happen.
They'll bring Caldwell in as well, and I think they'll bring a couple more. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see Brighton pick up after Caldwell 2 to 3 more. You know, because I still think they need a striker. I still think he probably wants another centre back and maybe a left back. You know, we're quite good through the spine and they've got a bit of width and stuff like that. I think Brighton will be fine.
Yeah.
Good.
We admire him. We admire him so much as a coach, don't we, Darren? Because he can really get a tune out of a very average player and make them look really, really good. And when the opportunity comes along to sell players at that type of money, Brighton can't afford to be turning that down. And even if it's a case that this year they don't reach the dizzy heights that they did last year and stuff like that in terms of performance stuff, they'll always have enough to reach that 40-point mark easily.
I think so.
And I think even if they ride it off this season and they finish, say, 12th or 13th or something like that, they know that next season then with another year under their belt, they have that money there. They can be patient if they want to bring in one or two decent players for Potter to coach and stuff like that. But he's a fabulous coach. We admire him so much on this show. And I wouldn't be putting Brighton into any relegation battle whatsoever. Now, touch wood, I hope I don't put the mockers on them, but I don't see it. Yeah, great shout, Mark. Good change. Definitely Fulham in there for Brighton. Brighton, far better club than Fulham. Right, give us your goal scorer. Who did you end up going? Well, I think I know who you ended up going with because you've been calling him on shows and stuff like that. I just don't know whether your mind has changed at all.
My mind ain't changed. I call this 4 to 6.
Yeah,
4 to 6 weeks ago, I said this guy was going to win the Golden Boot, and I'm sticking with him. The Uruguayan Andy Carroll, Darwin Núñez. I think he's going to just take, Liverpool to the next level, so to speak. And I do think, I know you're talking yourself and Dean and some of the Liverpool lads have mentioned about that midfield. I think if that midfield was a little bit stronger, I'd have been siding with Liverpool for that top of the table,
That's the point I made when you were talking.
If you'd have maybe, I know that you've spoken a few times about, the likes of a Jude Bellingham and something like that. If you guys would have got a Jude Bellingham, I think it would have been enough for me to go, do you know what? I think Liverpool might nick this.
Yeah.
As it is, I absolutely think they're going to be in the race for, 36 plus games. For my money anyway, But I just think maybe that midfield is a little bit light, just a little bit.
Yeah, what do you make? I mean, what have you made at the start here now? The talk for the Fulham game as well is probably that Firmino might start and Núñez might come from the bench. Is this just a way of you saying Klopp just bedding this guy in gradually and stuff like that and kind of protecting him a little bit, if you like?
There's no way he starts on the bench this weekend after what he did last weekend, the Charity Shield. No way.
That's the talk at the moment. I will be doing a preview tomorrow, but we'll see. But it'll be interesting.
If you look at what Firmino did in the 60 minutes he was on, and look at what Darwin did in the 30 minutes he was on, how could anybody start with Firmino? Genuinely, and that's not
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
I'm a big fan of Firmino. I really, really am. The boy's been a great servant at Liverpool. He's tied that front three together. Be it Mane, Jota, Origi, Salah, whoever it was, he was always that focal point that helped all the knobs on the thing turn. I really think he's done well, but I think you've got to just unleash this boy now, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. The big red fella's going with Darwin. Mark is going with Jesus. He's not a bad shout, Darren. Sure, he's not, because we were making the point there the other day. He's going to play an awful lot of games, and he's quite consistent in his performance.
He's
so he could rack up a tally,
robust
couldn't he?
as well. As Brazilians go, I would say he's extremely robust. He doesn't tend to miss large portions of the season because he's injured. you know. And I mean, touch wood, things continue like that. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the Arsenal jersey and stuff like that. Maybe all but twice, you know, when he plays home and away against United.
Yeah,
But I mean, other
absolutely.
than that, like I really think he'll do a great job for them. I think we spoke about
Um,
him. I think he could hit 18 to 22
mm,
because we're talking 1 and 2 if he plays every single game, which is, you know, there's a possibility he could hit
yeah,
18 to 22, which would be a great tally
mm,
for him, great tally for Arsenal. But I just still don't think, I still think even at that, he's probably only in about third or fourth with 18 to
yeah,
22,
yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. What you're thinking on Holland as your mind changing Holland? It'll be more about the volume in games, won't you? You don't expect him to play every game.
No, absolutely not. We've seen it over the last couple of years in Germany in the Bundesliga. He's missed an awful lot of football through injuries and knocks and stuff like that. He's quite a he's not a very orthodox looking player from a body structural point of view. You know, he's kind of big and gangly, and you know, he's a guy who looks like he could get injured looking at something rather, you know what I mean, rather than having to be smashed.
Mm.
I'd say he's quite finicky, and I'd say he's very easy to pull muscles and
He's just
you
a
know
big
do
heap
this
of a
and do.
human being, isn't he? He's a big heap
Yeah,
of a
he
human being. Like
really
he's,
is, you know,
yeah,
and the way he plays the game. Look, I don't know whether you remember that last weekend, that ball came across the box, and I fully expected him to go and head the ball, and he jumped at it with 2 feet in the air, and I was like, Jesus Christ! No wonder the lad spends an
right.
awful lot of time injured, you know. Um,
Yeah, you're
if
looking at that and you're thinking, there's a hamstring.
do you know what I mean? Like it was so unorthodox the way he went for it.
Yeah,
Like, and I'm going,
yeah,
Jesus Christ, man. Now, like, I don't know. What's he play? I think if he plays 28 games, you've got done well to get 28 games out of him in the league. I
yeah,
think out of
potentially.
28 games, I don't think he gets the volume to beat Nunes. I think he gets 22, something like that. But again, I
Mm,
think a lot in some of the smaller games, when you've had a Champions League game and then they're home against Forest or Fulham, I don't think he plays. Because I think he plays
yeah,
every single Champions League game,
he'll
and
protect
I
him for
think
the big ones. Yeah.
he'll protect them for them bigger games where
Mm,
where last season, you know, he didn't have somebody to go and score that goal to win the game at Liverpool, to win the game, you know, to win the game. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
yeah, no, I get you spot on. Just want to get your thoughts on it. I'm gonna go with Mo Salah. Probably no surprise to people, but I just think Mo Salah's consistency. I think just always has him in and around it and stuff like that. And I just think as well this season, with not having the weight of the AFCON on his shoulders, with not having the weight of the World Cup qualifiers on his shoulders and stuff like that, I think Mo can fully relax and cool. You know, he can focus fully on Liverpool.
Well, he may
Also with the
have the World
contract and
Cup,
the contract, yeah, and the contract sorted.
the contract, but he may have the World Cup break because haven't they got the
Yes,
playoff with Senegal?
yeah,
And only one
um,
of the two teams will go. Now, obviously, right now, you're hoping Senegal go and Mo gets a couple of weeks off.
well, that's
Because
how it's looking.
Mane's now at Munich, you know. Well,
Yeah,
it's hard to know.
mm,
There was very little between them in that AFCON final, you know, all but penalties. It's a two-legged affair. Um, I'd say Egypt have a really good show here. And if they do, that'll be Salah again heading away to the World Cup. Now, listen, I don't see Egypt going a whole lot further than the group stage, probably. Maybe the
yeah,
round of 16.
mm,
After that, you know, the stronger European nations will take them out, I imagine. But yeah, listen, I
yeah.
think he'll still get probably a 4 week break anyway, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Morris in the comments there. I'm going with Martial. Yeah, but Morris, who are you really going with? Come on, give us
Is
reality
that
here. There's no
is
way you're
that
going with Martial.
is that martial arts? Because it ain't
Careful,
Anthony
Morris.
Martial.
Darren will take that bet off if you want to give him Jesus and you can have Martial. He'll
I'll
take
take
that.
Jesus and he can
That
have
that
Martial. Absolutely.
that's a bet that he would take all day. So that kind of clears up then our picks for the season
Yeah,
in terms of our top six, bottom three, and our top goal scorer. So let's get into the first game, week 1. Let's
week
get into
one.
these fixtures, which obviously kicks off tomorrow night.
Niall,
Crystal
do
Palace
you know
versus
what?
Arsenal.
I just absolutely love our new slides and stuff that were able to pop up like that. Looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
All the new images. Look at that. StreamYard.
yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much to Morris. It was Morris who pushed the
Was it
button on that
Morris?
and shoved me down that pipe into StreamYard. Yeah, told me that Zoom was for
And
oldies.
and it
And I
did
said, I
take
am
me a
one.
little while to come around to that, Niall. Don't forget,
Yeah,
I'm a
absolutely.
creature of habit, but big shout out to Morris for that, and thanks, Morris.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Morris, first of all, he says he's going with Salah, Kane, and Jesus, in that order for the Golden Boot. Morris,
No,
you weren't in earlier as well. If you want to let us know your top six and your bottom three as well, we'll pop it up there as we go through the fixtures. Darren, yes, we kick off Crystal Palace versus Arsenal, 8 o'clock tomorrow night on Sky Sports on the back of a very good documentary for Mikel Arteta. He looked great in the 3 episodes, in fairness.
I would be I'd be looking if I was Arsenal right now, and I'd be wondering what have we done wrong. Every year we get this first game, this Friday night game. Last year was a trip to Brentford. The year before, I think they were home against Leicester. They must be wondering who they've pissed off in the Premier League to get these, Friday night under the lights, Selhurst Park, atmosphere rocking. You know what I mean? It's not going to be an easy game of ball for Arsenal, I don't think,
And
if I'm honest.
and the thing about it as well is every football fan is watching it because it's the opener of the season. So like no one else has
Absolutely.
anything to watch Friday night except Crystal Palace versus
Which
Arsenal. So yeah,
means, which
massive
means
viewing.
if they shit the bed, they shit the bed in front of everybody.
The world knows.
100%.
Um,
I think they'll get over the line, but I don't think it'll be pretty, and I don't think it'll be easy. But I do think
really,
they'll get over the line. Yeah, absolutely. It's a horrible place to go. It really is. They stole a league title from under you 1 year as well at Selhurst Park. Don't forget. So I think there's a
mm,
lot of there's a lot of teams have bad memories there. The pitch is shocking, always has been. The fans are on top of you. They make lots of noise. They're uncultivated Londoners. I wouldn't fancy it at all if I'm honest.
what are you going with?
Let's go 3-2 Arsenal.
3-2 Arsenal.
Yeah,
That'd be a heck of a game to start the season, wouldn't it?
yeah, yeah.
I'm
That's what
I'm
I'm
go-
going
I'm
for.
I'm going to be a bit more generous. I'm going for a 4-0 Arsenal. And maybe I'm clouded on the
Jesus
back.
Christ.
Maybe I'm clouded on the back of the
4-0
pre-season.
Arsenal.
But even as a Liverpool fan this season, I'm going Arteta in. I'm pushing for Arteta. I want him to do well. I want Arsenal to do well. And the documentary has me even more in. I really enjoyed it today. So I'm going with 4-0 Arsenal, and Jesus is going to be on fire. That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
Morris was back to give us his prediction: top six: City, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, United. I was very close to you, Morris. I had the same, except I reversed United and Chelsea. I had Chelsea in sixth, United in fifth. But the top four, I had the same as you. Bottom three: Everton, Fulham, and Bournemouth. Spot on, same as myself and Darren. Not in any particular order. But yeah, great show. Spot on. Let's move into Saturday then. The lunchtime kickoff down at Craven Cottage. Fulham versus Liverpool, being covered by BT Sport.
This is a game that will feature later on in our Beat the Bookie part of the show. Because
Okay.
I fancy Liverpool here, and I fancy them nicely, let's say. They'll make up part of a handicap bet later on. I
Nice.
fully expect Liverpool to win by 2-3 here, if I'm honest. I think this is going to be the wake up call that Fulham needs in regards to the market and how things have gone for them so far. I
Mm.
think Fulham need to be investing an awful lot more into that squad if they want to be here come next August.
Yeah. I mean, what's the danger from Fulham? Would it be set pieces with Mitrovic? Getting on the end of
I
them. We know that
think,
he's awkward in the box and all, isn't he?
yeah, he is, but you've probably as much possibility of him seeing a red as seeing a goal, haven't you? That's the other thing with Mitrovic.
Yeah,
You
with
know,
his frustration when he
with the
boils over. Yeah.
frustration. Now listen, again, very, very similar to Palace. Tight pitch, not a great pitch to play on, and fans on top of you. These fans are a little more relaxed about the football, shall we say. A lot of these guys are just guys that are floating into the cottage on a Saturday afternoon to pick up a game of ball before they head to Harrods and do a bit of shopping and stuff like that. So they're not die-hard football fans, I expect this to be Liverpool for me by 3 or 4. Let's say 3-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, I was on a show yesterday and I predicted 4-0 Liverpool. Can't see any other scoreline at the moment. No. Morris is in the comments there. He says he expects. Mark, first of all, says, I always liked you, Niall. Yeah, that must be about Arsenal. No doubt, Mark. Absolutely. And Morris is in the comments as well. I expect a demolition job here from Liverpool. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Next up then, the 3 o'clock's Bournemouth versus Aston Villa.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough start for Stevie, isn't it? I do think Villa will get the win here. But I just think, again, at times when you're drawn away from home against one of the sides that have just come up, you'll find that they might be plucky, Now, I think the difference here is Liverpool have so much more quality than Fulham, whereas Villa, while they do have the quality, we've yet to see them steamroll teams under Stevie,
they'll feature later on my beat the bookie bets anyway. Yeah, Aston Villa will.
Yeah, I think Villa will get the win here. Let's go 2-1 Villa. No, let's go 3-1 Villa.
Yeah, 3-1. Yeah, I think it'll be tied at first, but I think it'll run out comfortable for them.
That's exactly how I see it.
Here's one that's very hard to call: Leeds versus Wolves.
Got to be honest with you, I was looking at this earlier, and I really, really fancy Leeds. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I really, really fancy Leeds. Maybe it's because they're at home. Maybe because I know Jesse Marsh has had, a longer period of time to kind of put the lads through the rigors of what he wants as a manager. I think obviously they've made some great signings through the summer. They're still short of goals, and we've mentioned this before. I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of the boys, the Brennan Aronsons and the Tyler Adams and massively the boy Sinisterra, the Colombian lad. Really looking forward to seeing these lads. I think Wolves, for me, Wolves haven't had a great market so far, haven't had a great window. I think they did one smashing piece of business, which was the boy Nathan Collins from Burnley. I think that's a serious piece of business. Nathan Collins, I know he's Irish, and we're obviously, a little bit biased in this, but Collins is a lad that was linked with United a couple of times. Darren Fletcher was obviously at Stoke when Collins was there, and came back to United, and Fletcher said, listen, we need to go and get this kid, Collins. And apparently United said, or had somebody, somewhere along the line, Rio Ferdinand looked at him and was like, this kid's got to be unbelievable. And he moved to Burnley, and then obviously through his performances at Burnley and through his performance for Ireland, he's got to move to Wolves. I think he's going to do a great job, but I think this weekend he might just be on the losing end because I don't think Wolves have the goals in them at the minute. I think they're a bit goal shy.
Yeah, also with Wolves at the moment as well, I think, are they going to be missing Connor Cody? Did I read today Cody got injured or something like that in training or something like that? I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure, although I've heard big rumours that Connor Cody's on his way out of there.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's
Connor
what it was.
Cody's been heavily linked with the other side of Merseyside.
Okay.
Frank looks like he's trying to get him out the door there because I think Cody wants to be guaranteed of playing time. And I think with the addition of Collins, there's a possibility he may not be guaranteed as much as he wanted. And with the World Cup coming up and Cody still having an eye on that England squad,
Yeah, the big red fellas in the comments. Villa draw, Wolves win, Newcastle draw, Spurs win, and Chelsea win. That's what he's looking at. And Marky's here as well. Marky's back. Had the pleasure of reffing Nathan Collins at Leixlip United. Smashing player. Reads the game very well.
Yeah, I think he could be. I genuinely see him as, if not the next Ireland captain, the one after that. I just think he's head and shoulders above what we have at the minute. From a leadership point of view, I think he's extremely mature. I think, as Mark says, he reads the game very, very well. He's a talker, I love the kid, I really do.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Probably
go
didn't.
2-1 to Leeds on that.
Yeah, I'm going for a draw on that one.
Okay.
I just couldn't separate them. I'm really looking forward to this one as a 3:00 Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. It's going to be a good game, isn't it?
This is going to be ding and dong, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
this is going to be ding and dong. Again, another very similar game, and another difficult game to call, if I'm honest. Newcastle and Forest. Forest, obviously, with all those new players that they brought in, they're looking to bring in lucky number 13 at the minute, I believe. They've 12 in the door already, and they're looking to get their 13th in. I think Newcastle are really, really, really going to have an eye on the top half of this league table this season. I think obviously with what Eddie did from January to the end of the summer, to the end of the season, has laid massive foundations. They haven't necessarily cleared the decks just yet. He's still sliding a couple of pieces into the puzzle. We know they're obviously very, very heavily linked with James Maddison, and they're looking for a striker and stuff like that. We don't necessarily know what way they'll finish Newcastle. I expect them to bring in 2 or 3 more, if I'm honest. But even with what's available to them now, I think they'll have enough for Forest on Saturday. But again, I think it's going to be tight. I went 2-1 to Leeds, and I'm also going to go 2-1 to Newcastle.
Yeah, good shout. I think Eddie Howe will want to get off to a strong start as well, especially on the background of what he came into last season. And if he has aspirations of a top half and stuff like that and being competitive and stuff, this is the game where he needs to hit the ground running and get off to a good start. I do think it'll be a tight game as well, and I think Forest will be buoyed by the fact that they're back in the Premier League. It's just unfortunately they're away to the Geordies.
Yes.
Tough place for them to go. If they had been at home, it would have been a different story.
Absolutely electric there on Saturday. Electric.
Yeah, and should be.
Absolutely,
no doubt about it. But I'm really looking forward to that kind of tactical battle between Howe and Cooper. It's going to be very, very interesting. Two proper ballers and stuff.
It'll be swashbuckling. Like, it won't be defensive. That's going to be end to end. Really, really
Jesus. We'll never get John Joe Shelby on the podcast, will we? Morris killing us here. If Shelby is fit, the team should have enough even playing against one of the best keepers in the world, Dean Henderson. Great attitude, that lad. Best of luck to him. Did you catch his interview?
I did. Myself and Morris may have been discussing this already.
Oh, absolutely.
Morris has that wooden spoon out again.
Big to him.
The interview was mental, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
How naive, as a guy that's still a Manchester United player, to go and speak about the club like that.
That's a guy who does not want to come back. He does not want to come back. He wants to stay wherever he is.
After the comment he made, will not be coming fucking back. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a bit. It's
the
definitely
only thing we can hope for. The only thing we can hope for is that he has an unbelievable season at Forest, and somebody gives us 30 to 40 million for the kid.
Yeah, I was talking to Morris. Yesterday about it when we were talking about the interview. Myself and Morris were talking, and we were going, we had to check ourselves and go back and check again to make sure it was actually a loan, that it wasn't actually a sale. With the way he was talking, it was weird.
That's right.
Next up, Spurs versus Southampton. It's be a tough day for Southampton, wouldn't it? Don't you think, at the new White Hart Lane?
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, this is another game. That will feature later on. In the betting, we know Spurs' focus this season will be creating a platform, a defensive platform, and a defensive foundation to go and win games from. They're going to go in with 3 centre backs. They're going to go in with the 2 wing backs, the 3 in midfield and stuff like that, or the 2 in midfield and the 3 up top. So I think I'm really looking forward to seeing Spurs. I think they're going to be the best of the rest if we look outside the Liverpool and City. I think they're still trying to do some bits in the market as well, which after what they've done is a little bit surprising, but I do like the fact that Daniel Levy has gone, you know what, we finally have a manager that I believe in here. Let's back him.
And a very, very tough start for the governor, isn't it? Very tough start.
Very tough for Ralph. Yeah, it's very tough for Ralph. It really is. Southampton need to do a little bit in the market. You know, I did mention this a few weeks ago. I think Southampton could be in some sort of trouble unless they can really, make some changes before the end of the window. They're obviously losing the boy Armando Broja from last year as well. He's gone back to Chelsea, and they've made a couple of signings, but they haven't necessarily been the names you'd be looking for them to go for,
Yeah.
I think Southampton could struggle this season a little bit. They'll be involved in
Yeah.
that relegation fight for my money, I have to be honest.
Yeah, I think you mentioned like unlike last season, if it starts very bad for them, they could really struggle all season, couldn't they? Whereas last season they kind of did okay for a while, and then they
Yeah.
really fell back. Remember, they went on that really bad run.
Yes.
Yeah, so definitely interesting. Morris is back in. Spurs win. Hope Bazunu is in goals. If it's a big Spurs win, Morris, I hope Bazunu is not in goals. I don't want the lad getting absolutely upended and shattered on that first day of the season.
You know what though? Here's the thing about Bazunu. In all likelihood, for me, he'll play.
Yeah.
But also, he could Spurs could win 4-0 here, and Bazunu could be man of the match.
Yes, you're
I
right.
don't
You're
think
right, actually, yeah.
I don't think he'll do an awful lot to dirty his bib, so to speak. I think he'll have a good game, but I just think there'll be so much Spurs will have so much more in Southampton, and it's 4-0
Yeah,
for me.
absolutely. So the 5:30 then on Sky Sports is the Battle of the Blues, Everton versus Chelsea, the haves and the have-nots. Um, do you see anything in this for Everton at all, with Chelsea still in a little bit of disarray and kind of all over in the marketplace and kind of not really a pattern of play or an understanding of what they want to do? Or do you think they'll still have too much quality up front for Everton?
They'll have way too much for Everton. Um,
Another
again,
tough place to go, Goodison.
Goodison's tough place to go, although
Mm.
if I'm an Everton fan right now and I'm looking at what's going on at the club, what's left, what's coming in, who's running the sessions, like, am I running down there to support that? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Listen, I'm a United fan and I've supported while we've been in the absolute doldrums as well, so I understand that. I just think, I don't know, I think there's a lot of Everton fans will be looking at this at the minute and going, what is going on at our club?
Yeah,
It's
the still say it'd be packed though. Like
there's a
you've
hardcore
seen them? Yeah, like
element.
look at it even last season when it got really toxic and really bad and really looked like they were going to go down and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They still had a packed house there with fans still cheering them on, trying to make it happen and stuff like that.
they do. They're in
So
massive trouble this weekend from a goal scoring
yeah,
point of view, though, because obviously we know Calvert-Lewin's not available.
yeah,
Rondon is also suspended. He got sent off towards the end of last season, and this is the last game in his ban.
mm,
So like Everton are going to struggle for goals here. You're going to probably see maybe the boy Anthony Gordon and maybe the boy Dwight McNeil play as a two even without a focal point, which will just mean he'll pack the midfield with three. He'll go three centre backs and the two wing backs and just try and keep it super tight. Like they may go in with no striker, and that's going to
yeah,
be so tough.
yeah,
That means you're down to
absolutely,
the likes of Tarkovsky for headers or corner kicks or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Or free
yeah,
kicks, but then holding Chelsea out, because again, if you don't have that focal point up front and the ball keeps coming back very, very quickly, it's going to be tough for
yeah.
them.
It'll wear you down. And we seen it last year, even with Michael Keane as well, when he was put under that constant, intense pressure. That's
Yeah,
when he started making those mistakes and stuff like that. When he was trying to hold it together, mentally for 90 minutes, that's when he sometimes came up a little bit short. Yeah, I think we're about going Chelsea win here, are we?
yes, I am going Chelsea 3-0.
Yeah, good show. Andrew in the comments. How are you, Andrew? Welcome on board.
Prodigal son is in the comments. You see, he was told, Niall, he's got training tonight and he's only finished training. He's only home training at half 8. So he had to get in and have a shower and all that.
Yeah,
But I said to him, you make sure you get on that podcast tonight or it's going to be a long ass trip to Manchester this weekend. So I'm glad the kid took heed of what I said.
absolutely. Yeah, the heir to the throne. Say,
See it?
Morris is back. Frank versus Bowley. Tuchel.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't think he's far wrong from that, is he?
There's going to be a lot of that this season, isn't there? Who's actually the man that's actually sitting in the dugout this season at Chelsea? There's going to be a lot of questions about that over the next, say, 6 to 9 months, I think, and especially the next 4 weeks anyway. Morris, what did you make? They're linked now with Aubameyang. Let us know what you
Oh
think.
God, imagine it.
Let, let's get
Jesus.
into Sunday, your favourite part of this weekend coming up. But we'll kick it off, first of all,
Yes.
with Leicester versus Brentford. This is a huge season for Brendan Rodgers, isn't it?
Massive. And if we look at, I know last season Leicester obviously played in Europe. They did really, really well. They got to the semi-finals or the quarterfinals of that conference and stuff like that. And he had brought in a lot of players that we maybe didn't see the best of last season. The
Yeah.
Pats and Dakas, the Bubakar Samaris, guys like this, the Vestergaards, who we didn't necessarily see put their best foot forward. This is massive for Leicester right now because obviously Ademola Lookman has gone back to Leipzig. He looks like he's on his way to Atalanta at the minute. So they've Lookman gone. Kasper Schmeichel has just left the building. He signed for Nice today.
Saying that, yeah.
You've got the boy Fofana, who has got the admiring glances from Chelsea. You've got James Madison, who
Looking at
Newcastle
Newcastle.
have. Yeah, Newcastle have him in their sights. And you've got an aging Jamie Vardy with Waggategate in his rear mirror. So there's an awful lot going on at Leicester here. An awful lot going on.
A lot of distraction.
A lot of distraction. I don't necessarily see this going very, very well for Leicester, if I'm honest. I think this is ready-made for Thomas Frank and Brentford to come in and do a number on Leicester on Sunday. Catch them cold, get the likes of Mbeumo and get the likes of Ivan Toney at that back four of Leicester, with the new keeper in behind. The new keeper being Danny Ward. He's been there for quite a while. He's the Welsh number one. He's a very good keeper, the lad. But they definitely need recruitment at Leicester. Definitely need reinforcements, and the recruitment has to be good, or Leicester could find themselves languishing in the bottom half of that league this season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going I'm gonna go 2-1 Leicester. Oh, sorry, 2-1 Brentford.
2-1 Brentford. I'm going with a draw. I'm going to go with a score draw. Man United versus Brighton. Sky Sports.
2:00. Keep your eye out for me. Second row behind the goal, Stretford end. Myself and the little fella. The two big lads, they'll be up a bit higher. They're just above the halfway line, the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, so it should be a good day.
He'll be the man clothesline and Trossard as he scores and runs down the length of the Stretford end. Darren's arm will be the one sticking out clotheslining him.
He won't be doing that, unfortunately. I think this isn't a bad time to catch Brighton with what's going on at the minute. Obviously with Cucurella, the Cucurella situation. Yeah, with the Suma. We still think maybe they're going to make a couple of signings, 2 to 3 probably. You kind of look there, you see where the goal's going to come from Brighton. Listen, they've got goals in them. We know they absolutely put United to the sword last season at the Amex and destroyed us. I think that will be in the United's players' minds. And I think that will be enough to maybe get enough of a performance at United to just get us over the line here. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think this is the game that we're going to think, United are going to come out and play this beautiful football and everything's going to go to plan. I don't think that's going to happen. I think things are going to be a slower burn for United. I think, obviously, we're struggling because Martial looks like he's possibly injured and Ronaldo isn't maybe 100% fit, and plus what's the attitude like. But I am going to go with 2-1 Manchester United.
2-1 United. Morris back. He's a better option than Werner anyways, but who isn't? Wouldn't be surprised to see it happen. Absolutely love Abba. He was a great player for us. Yeah, it's another weird link, isn't it? It's just another name pulled out of the sky kind of thing, isn't it? Morris is also back as well. Leicester could be in relegation danger this year. Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm going to call it now. I wouldn't be surprised that.
Don't say it.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
You wouldn't be surprised if Brendan Rodgers was one of the first to go.
Not one of the first to go, but certainly to go. I think I was looking at last season and stuff like that, and I know he has a little bit in the bank there, but you get the feeling with it that he's brought them as far as he can, and he's kind of outstaying his welcome a little bit in terms of them needing to progress and move on. In terms of Man United and Brighton, I think this is going to be a really good game. I think Potter comes to play football, and I think that will play into
Don't
United a little
do
bit
it,
as well.
Niall. Don't do it.
But I'm going to go for a draw. And
Knew
you'll
you were
see it
going to
later.
do it, Niall,
You'll
just
see
to
it
annoy
later,
me.
and you'll see it later and beat the bookie. Well, I just think there's probably
Fuck
goals
you,
in it for
Niall.
Brighton,
Fuck
and I
you.
think there's goals in it for United. Now this could be a case of who outscores who.
No, it won't be.
Um,
But Brighton aren't the type of team to go out and outscore anybody. But we know that. Brighton
yeah,
always, Brighton's victories are from that dogged determination, and how they play and the style. But it's not because they ever really they put United to the sword last season in that game. But that was the exception for Brighton. It's never like that. They do well in those tight games and nick a goal here and nick a goal there, but they tend not to outscore teams. Knew you were going to do it to me, Noah. You do it nearly every
well,
week
they
just
had
to annoy me.
the two all with us, the 2-2 with us on Anfield. Remember, and I think what was the scoreline in the
They should have
Chelsea
beat you at
game?
Anfield.
Did they nick the draw against Chelsea? Was it, or did they nick the win that time?
They nicked the draw. It was 1-1, but they should have
Yeah,
won away at Chelsea, and they absolutely
yeah,
should have won away at Anfield as well.
yeah. And that one at Chelsea, they should have actually put up quite a score, if you remember as well. They had a lot of
And
chances.
that was
I think that
the
they hit a
problem with
bar
them
and hit
last
a
season.
post as well. Yeah,
They hit everything. They hit the
yeah,
barn door, I think,
absolutely.
at one stage. But
Yeah,
that was their problem last season. They had so many opportunities to score and just couldn't put the ball away. And I don't think they've addressed that really in the summer. If I'm a club like Brighton and I'm creating chances the way I'm creating them and playing football the way I'm playing, like, go out and splash a bit of cash on two strikers,
yeah,
and get two guys in there to get you 15 to 20 each a season and see yourself finishing 7th or 8th and be lying on your back in May going, that was handy, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. We're going to round it out with the Super Sunday, which is I think is a fabulous Super Sunday for the first one. West Ham versus Man City. We're hearing today West Ham 17.5 million bid. They're bringing in your boy and our friend Maxwell Cornet.
Yes.
Very good signing. Very good
Well,
signing.
that was his 17.5 is his release clause. 17.5.
Someone was sleeping on it, weren't they?
Please tell me why Newcastle didn't go for Maxwell Cornet at 17.5 million. Can you imagine Maxwell Cornet on the right and Alan St. Maximin on the left?
Yeah.
With a Callum Wilson going through the middle? Your wing backs, couple in the middle, Bruno Guimaraes in behind. Eddie, what are you doing, pal?
Do you know the funny thing about it is the minute you sign him, his value has already doubled. Because the 17.5 is nowhere near a reflection of the boy at all. I'm surprised so many other clubs didn't come in for
again.
that.
Look at Brighton, 17.5 million. Why aren't Brighton looking at him? Why didn't he go to Everton? Why didn't Newcastle try and sign him? Wolves, Leeds. Look at how many clubs on that board could have done with Maxwell Cornet for 17.5 million.
Yeah, Brighton could have done a lot worse than dig into that 25 million for Bazuma and throw 17.5 at Maxwell Cornet.
100%.
You're not going to want to hear this from Morris. Shane Duffy, last minute equaliser. Morris, if he does that to Stratford End, Darren will jump the barriers and he'll absolutely slap the head off Shane Duffy. If that happens. West Ham have done good business under the radar.
I'd say there's a great chance that Shane Duffy's not on the pitch in the last minute, but anyway, that's another day's work, isn't it?
Might spring him for the bench just for a few set pieces or something like that.
I don't think West Ham have done good business, Morris.
They've been quite enough. Yeah, they've missed out on a couple of targets, haven't they? They missed out on Danjuma and all, didn't they? And stuff.
They didn't get Danjuma yet. They didn't get Jesse Lingard yet. And this was the worst story I've heard in quite a while today. There's a boy playing in France. You'll have to forgive me. I'm forgetting where he's playing. His name is Amadou Onana. So it's like the ex-Ajax keeper. Yeah, like the ex-Ajax keeper. Amadou Onana. The club West Ham have had a bid accepted for him. at like 36 million, right? Centre midfielder.
Is this the one
And
where there's an issue over the personal terms or something, is it?
this is the one where there's an issue because he'd prefer to go to Everton. What the fuck?
yeah. I was looking at that going, what?
Has he
That's a kick. That's a kicker from Moyes as well, isn't it? When you think
has he
about it,
read
like
it?
that's a kicker
Has he
from
read
Moyes.
the map or has he read something on Wikipedia where it basically says there's actually only one football club in Merseyside and it's Liverpool, and he's thinking it's all right, I'm going to Liverpool, and is he going to end up on the Faf rank and go, am I not supposed to be wearing red? What's going on here? Like, how could anybody right now turn down Dave Tank's son? He's playing at Lille. How could anyone in football turn down West Ham and want to go to Everton? Sweet Jesus, man alive. Holy shit balls.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be picking Frank Lampard over David Moyes regardless of the badges.
I'd probably
be
just
going with
about
Moyes
pick
all day.
Mrs. Lampard over fucking David Moyes.
Yeah.
What our big chin.
So what are we thinking here? West Ham versus Man City. Man City have been slow at times to start.
Very much so.
They looked a little bit off the pace last weekend with the Community Shield and stuff like that.
And they don't like that stadium. Remember last year?
Yeah, they don't like the kind of the bullish bully boy way that Moyes sends the boys out about their business. I know Bone gave them a tough time last season.
Absolutely.
What you thinking on this one? You see them stumbling at the first fence? No?
No. But again, I think this is going to be very late in the day. I think City will be up. I'm going to say City will be 2-1 up. West Ham will be kicking the City door down. And right at the end, City will put the gloss on it and make it 3-1 and make it look like it was a handy day's outing, but it won't be at all.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to go, what are you going with City?
3-1 City.
3-1 City, but not comfortable.
No, not comfortable at all. 1-1, City nick 1, 2-1, West Ham throwing everything at the kitchen sink. And then last minute or two, City nick one on the break, make it 3-1 and make it look like it was a great day at the office, and it won't have been.
Awesome. Right, let's get into the fun part of the show now. Beat the Bookie. This is where we make our picks. This is our first Beat the Bookie. I have to say, do you know something? I picked out 4 bets, and I went a little bit conservative on 3 of them, just to get us off to a good winning start.
Do you know what? I went a little bit conservative on 2 of my 3 as well.
Yeah.
Is there any chance we've overlapped on bets?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did you do a goal scorer?
No, well, I have goal scorers within bets and stuff like that. So I didn't do the traditional goal scorer, both teams to score, handicap and all that. What I did was I just picked out a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday bet. But I went conservative enough, and then I blew it out of the water with the fourth one, basically. I also have some bets in here from Ted from Retrotainment. Go check out his channel, Retrotainment Recast. And I have bets in, of course. And I have bets in, of course, from our resident referee as well. He always sends in his bets as well. What do I start with? Do you want me to start with Ted's?
No, I'm going to start us off.
Go ahead then. You kick us off then.
And I'm going to roll all 3 of mine now.
Okay, let's go. You just want to be able to then sit back and relax, fade up, going, I've done my bit.
And then I can start listening to everyone else's and think, where
then you start pulling everyone else's picks apart and tell them how stupid they are.
So, I am going to go, first of all, for a handicap treble. We are going Liverpool minus a goal, Spurs minus a goal, and Chelsea minus a goal. Yeah,
you were so close to me. You were right. There is crossover.
Was
you were so close. You're only out by 1. You were so close. Yeah, Saturday handicap treble. Yeah, absolutely.
So I got Liverpool, Spurs, and Chelsea all minus a goal at 10-1.
10-1. I did. I'll give you my one then, just to pop it in there. Then I did the Saturday handicap as well. I did Liverpool, Spurs, and Aston Villa 12-1, all -1.
Okay. Yeah. So you
Villa
traded Villa for Chelsea.
Yeah, I traded Villa for Chelsea. That's all,
There you
12 to
go.
1. Yeah, so we were
And obviously
close. We were
Villa,
close.
Villa obviously are a slightly bigger price than Chelsea as well.
Yeah, yeah,
There you go. Look at
absolutely.
that. That was it.
Yeah, so
That's a
that was
good start,
close.
Niall, isn't it?
Just let people know, once you're in the comments there, guys, or you're in the chat, or you're watching the show, just make sure smash that like button and stuff like that. Really, really important that the likes get smashed up in order to break
Smash
the
the
YouTube
like.
algorithm and
Make
stuff
sure
like
you
that.
subscribe and share it in your WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
Somebody
And
might
also
have
make
got
sure as well,
somebody
if you're
might
in
have
the
got a little talking to today over sharing things in WhatsApp groups.
okay,
Might
very
have to
good. And
remind someone, don't forget to share it in the WhatsApp group or you're getting the back of the
absolutely.
hand.
And also, if you
All
are in
right,
the
son.
comments there in the chat, if you are planning on having a bet this weekend, drop your bet in there and let us know what you're going with and what the odds are and stuff like that. We always love to hear from people. And as always, gamble responsibly. Always gamble responsibly. Don't be going out there with rent money or mortgage money or anything like that. Daz is in the comments. Big up, Niall. How are you doing today? I'm doing great, Daz. I hope you're doing well too, my friend. We're just here in the middle of doing our Beat the Bookie show here now. If you're in at the tail end of it, if you're planning on having a few bets this weekend, let us know. Uh,
Oh,
the
look,
the son
that's
the
look.
son's not happy at all. He was getting tar strips off. He was getting told a few little home truths, was he?
No, he was. He came over and he was giving me a dig out. I don't know whether everybody's noticed or not. I get to fit this in now, man. I don't know whether everybody's noticed or not. But I'm in a new chair this evening. I'm in a nice new chair this evening. There's a little story behind this chair. This was a chair out of my mum's house that my dad used to sit in. And he obviously passed away last year. And just before anybody else got to taking dibs on the chair, I said to me, "Ma, I'm taking the chair." And she was like, "I don't know if I'm getting rid of it yet." And I said, "It's tough. I'm taking it." I said, "I want the chair. It's a little part of me that, you know." So got the chair and then proceeded to just we got it covered. Our bedroom here is white and navy and gold. So we got the chair covered in navy. It matches our bed. The same guy that covered our bed, covered the chair. We got it back now, so we have it in the room. Andrew came and helped me up the stairs with it today and stuff. And but I just gave him a little dig, and I said, "Don't forget to be sharing things in your WhatsApp groups." And he said, "I shared them a while ago." And I said, "Share them every bleeding week." I says, "Because
Every day.
when we start making paper, kid, it's gonna be you that benefit." So yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good show.
Right.
Right, come on, give us your other
On to
ones.
me second bet. So I always go up with my prices, yeah. So we started at
Yeah,
tens, yeah.
yeah.
My second bet is my goal scoring anytime bet,
Mm,
and I've gone for possibly the four top goal scorers in the league this season, possibly.
okay.
So I've gone with Gabriel Jesus,
Yeah,
I've gone with Harry Kane,
yeah,
I've gone with Erling Haaland,
yeah.
and I've gone with Darwin Núñez.
Okay.
Anytime, Jesus, Kane, Haaland, and Núñez, 12 to 1 anytime.
It's not a bad bet at all.
It's all right, I think.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is all right. They're going to
Fairly
get
plausible.
chances. We know it's extremely likely all four of them play, and it's extremely likely all of them get chances. And if those four lads get chances, they're going to score goals. So
Yeah,
that's where I've gone.
100%. 100%, yeah.
The
Absolutely.
one thing about the bet I don't like, and I'll just throw it out there, is Harry Kane doesn't have a great record in August. However, Paddy Power, for some unknown reason, won't give you a price on Heung-min Son to score anytime. I don't know why. I don't know why. So I had to take Kane instead. But listen, I'm happy with it.
It might be that he's out, is it? I'm not too sure. I
No,
haven't heard
no,
anything
because
now.
I remember distinctly the same thing last season, where a couple of times I clicked in and they wouldn't give me odds on an anytime Son bet.
That's a weird one, isn't it?
Isn't it? Absolutely.
It's a weird one. Daz is back in the comments. Salah to score first, Nunes anytime, and us to win 4-0, 11 to 10. Salah evens Nunes 14. What's that? 14 to 1, is it? 14 to 1.
14 to 1, 4 0,
It's
yeah.
like a little bet builder, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a similar one.
Sure,
But
go on. You can give it to us, Niall. Go on. Tell us, will you?
it's a very simple one, and it's even money. It's basically Liverpool to win and Salah to score,
Oh,
and it's
sorry.
even
I
money.
thought you mentioned the goal
Even money.
scorers.
No. He has Salah to score first, Nunes anytime, and then Liverpool to win 4-0, is it? I think that's his kind of
Even
like
money. Knock out now and be bad for even money, Niall. There's no point in me asking.
Don't know. It's a safe bet. Salah in the last, I think, 3 seasons has scored on the opening day, hasn't he?
I
Did I
don't know.
read that stat
I'm
today
not a
somewhere?
Liverpool
As
fan.
far as I know.
Couldn't give a shite.
Yeah. No, but you're a make money fan.
You know it. You know, if a box of wrestlers over here in the corner says I like making money, pal.
Absolutely. Right, give us your next one.
It's my last one. I've given you 10s and I've
Okay.
given you 12s.
Okay.
I'm not going to 14s, Niall. I'm not going to fucking 16s. I'm not going to 18s, and I'm not going to 20s. I am going last bet of the evening from the Dazzler. Now, don't forget, I think it was 80, 85 to 1 I gave you on the last day of last season.
That was the last one.
I think this is a great punt. 60 to 1. Yeah?
Yeah.
60 to 1. Newcastle United.
Yeah.
Leeds United. And
Yeah.
Manchester United. All to win and both teams to score. 60 to 1.
All to win and both teams to score. Leeds,
Yep.
Newcastle, and Man United.
Yep.
Is that right? All to win
Yep.
and both to score. So you have
Yes.
Leeds versus Wolves, both to score. You have United versus Brighton, both to score. And what was the other one? Newcastle and Nottingham
versus
Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the odds justify it, I think. Yeah, the odds
3
justify it.
wins, all 6 teams to score, 60 to 1.
Yeah, nice bet. Nice odds.
I think so too, you know.
Certainly you don't fall at the first hurdle either. It gives you there's a bit of mileage in that bet as well. You don't get too upset too quick.
Yeah.
Nice one, Daz. Corbett, yeah, your local bookies. Nice. Hound them on the prices if you can. That was your third one, was it? That's it done?
That's me done and dusted, pal. Yeah, look, I'm gonna
Not
get a
too
bleeding
bad.
mojito and stick it in my hand now in a minute.
Right, well I'll give you Ted's. Ted's first one is he's gone for Aston Villa, Wolves, and Brentford. All
He's
to
gone
win.
for Aston Villa,
Wolves
Wolves, and
and
Brentford. Okay.
Brentford.
All to
All
win.
to
What
win.
price?
It's just shy of 22 to 1, 21.4 to 1. So a tenner returns 235.20.
There's nothing
So
wrong with
yeah,
that.
22 to 1. It's a good bet. And then
Nothing wrong with that, Ted.
he's gone for a goal scorer. Now, funny enough, he has Son in his anytime. All any times, right? So he's gone with Gabriel Jesus. He's gone with
Yeah.
Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Taking my advice, Mo Salah scores first day season all the time. He's gone with Son. Son is
Yeah.
21 to 20 anytime, by the way, Darren, if you're looking for a price on him. And he's
Thank you,
gone
man.
with Marcus Rashford at 2 to 1. So the
Which
fourfold
bumps
pays you
the price.
26 to 1 nearly.
Yeah, see, I have the
25.56 to 1.
fourfold, but I have it at 12s because. Do I have it at 12s or 10s? I have it at 12s because
Kane
because
would
I
be a
don't
shorter
really
price
have
than Son, wouldn't
Kane's
he?
a shorter price than Son, and again,
So,
I
yeah.
have Haaland and he has Rashford.
Yeah.
But I like the way you are thinking, Tedward. 100%. I
Absolutely.
love that. I love both of those bets, actually, Ted. They're two nice bets, pal.
Now, we have 3 bets from Mark. The first one is his goal scorer bet.
Is it in the Championship
Interesting
or is it
picks
in the
again.
Premier League?
No, this is the Premier League one. We have a Championship one as well.
Right, okay.
We'll
Give me
go
the
with the.
Premier League teams, and I'll try and guess the scorers. Right, let's go.
It'll
Here
be
we go, Marky.
it'll be too obvious.
Oh well,
Be
then
too
let's not.
obvious. Well, it's Jesus. It's
Right.
Harry Kane.
Okay.
Mason Mount, a guy who you were bigging up Monday night,
Yeah.
Tuesday night on the
Big
show,
fan of Mason
and
Mount.
the little wizard himself, Philip Coutinho.
Okay.
All to score anytime. 44 to 1.
Yeah. Nice.
44 to 1.
Nice.
Not bad. Daz is saying he's going to have an accumulator as well. Absolutely, Daz. You have to the first weekend of the season. You got to go out there
And
and
every
hit
other
it on the
weekend
park.
after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Assuming you're on that winning trail. Mark's anytime goal scorer as well for the championship.
Okay.
He's gone with
Right.
Jed Wallace.
Are you not going to give me the? Are you not going to give
Sorry.
me the teams?
Well, it doesn't highlight here for me the team, so I may not be sure. Well, obviously the first one's Jed Wallace. I gave you that. It's West
So
Brom
he's
versus
West Brom.
Watford.
Yeah.
West Brom. So the next one is Burnley versus Luton.
Oh, I reckon he's gone. Oh, Burnley versus Luton. I reckon he's gone for the boy Costello.
No, it's a 4-1 shot.
Go on. It's not the boy Matson who got the goal last week, was it?
No.
Who have we got?
Carlton Morris.
Carlton Morris, okay.
Carlton Morris. And then he's rounding it out. I presume the third one I would assume is a Blackpool player. Who's he going in with there? 10-3 it is.
Ooh,
I
okay.
presume
Connolly.
now it's a Blackpool. No, I presume it's a Blackpool player now. I might be wrong.
Who have we got?
Gary Madine. Is it Madine?
Gary Madine, yeah, he plays up front for.
Madine.
Or just
Yeah,
off the front for
10-3.
Blackpool, yeah. Take the penalties as well, Gary Madine, yeah.
So the three of those anytime is 108-1.
Yeah, not
Big
bad,
bet.
is it?
It's two 4-1s and a 10-3.
Nothing wrong with that. That championship's
not
not easy to get a bet up in, though, but if you can get one up, they are very, very profitable.
Yeah, and because this is our first Beat the Bookie show, and a lot of people might not be familiar with it and stuff like that, but Mark last season in bets in the championship and stuff like that was knocking it out of the park at least over the last 2 to 3 months of the season. So keep an eye on Mark's bets, folks, out there and stuff like that. He's definitely one to follow, because some of these do come in. And then he does his final one, which is always a Man United bet, because he hedges his bets between Man United and Blackpool.
Rashford any time and United win 3-1.
No, he didn't go with that. He went with 2-1, so he agreed with you. Did you call 2-1 in that game?
I did.
And he went with Bucky to himself, Bruno Fernandes, anytime goal scorer.
Bruno anytime United to win 2-1. What's that, about 14-1?
20's nearly. 19.58. 20-1 on Paddy Powers for the 2-1 scoreline and Bruno anytime. I think that's a good bet. I think that's a great bet as well.
Especially if you get a penalty. Whoop, whoop.
Yep. So that's all Marky's. I'll run down quickly then. I still have to give you two because I gave you my handicap bet and I gave you my Liverpool Salah bet. So the other one I did for Friday night for tomorrow night, I did Arsenal to win. Very simple. Arsenal to win, Jesus to score anytime. 5-2. It could be a nice little bet on a Friday night if you want to throw 10 or 20 quid on it to get your money in for the weekend for the rest of your bets and stuff like that. And I think that's very, very plausible. Solid bet there at 5-2. And then I went with a Sunday treble at 68-1. Because all the other bets were quite conservative. So I'm hoping I'll pick up a few bob on them and then I'll be able to speculate a few bob on this.
68-1.
68-1.
You're going Brentford, West Ham, and the draw.
No, I'm going 3 draws.
3 draws.
3 draws pays out 68-1. That's what I looked at for the Sunday treble.
Don't put too much on that because when United beat Brighton, then you'd be good.
I just the thoughts of you being over there with the kids again and not getting a result. I'd rather drop the bet.
Thanks, pal.
I don't like ruining guys' trips. It's terrible, especially when you go over for a game.
Yeah, listen, there's nothing worse. Myself and Eno were over there last season. We're me same day. I was at United Leicester. We drew 1-1. Eno was home. Chelsea versus Brentford and got their arse handed to them. Was a 4-2 in the end?
Yeah, it was something crazy. Was it 4-2 or 4-0?
I think it was 4-2.
I know Brentford got 4 anyway.
Okay, absolutely did.
Where was I for that? I was in Dallas, wasn't I? I was in Dallas and...
Were you in Dallas, yeah?
Yeah, I was in Dallas and that's the story actually because you're right because Chelsea I think either went 1-0 or 2-0 up and I said I don't even need to look at that now and I headed off down to the pill with the lads and when I came back
Happy
up I seen that the WhatsApp group was lit up with the lads going, what the hell? And I was going, what's happened here? Brentford after banging in 4, I was there, oh my God, couldn't believe it.
Would you believe, what's the chances I was able to get it straight up on live score? It was 4-1 to Brentford and it was Saturday, April the 2nd.
There you go. That was Mania Night 1.
And Dallas. Mania Night 1. There's the run from the United game. Kelechi Iheanacho scored. Fred got an equaliser. I'm pretty sure I hit the absolute jackpot. being in the stadium when my boy Fred got one back. And then very, very late on, James Maddison got a winner. And it was called out by VAR. And we were sweating bullets because the goal should have stood.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, Morris was in Dallas as well. I remember Morris messaged me as well, and he was going, "Geez, Eno's probably going mad here now, going over to the Brentford game. You would think it's a shoe in," and they got absolutely slapped up that day. Yeah, and to go with it, we had a great night at Mania 1. It was the first night. I watched it in the Chelsea Supporters Club in Dallas. It was glorious. And now, Morris, stop. The Chelsea Supporters Club. That must have been the two lads that were on the trip with you, were they? They were both Chelsea supporters. There's no way
Chelsea
you
fans.
found the Chelsea Supporters Club in Dallas, Morris. You were well too hungover for that. No doubt about it. Absolute classic, yeah.
Because that was early morning, no, I remember.
It was, yeah. So that's what I was saying. We were going down to get
3
breakfast and
o'clock
go to the
kickoff
pool.
was what time? 10 bells?
It would have been, I think there was 6 hours in the difference, wasn't there?
6, so it'd have been,
so 3
it'd have been 9 bells.
Would have been 9 bells, yeah. It was an early kickoff
on
and
a
stuff
Saturday
like that.
Morning. Jeez, no need for 9
yeah,
o'clock.
So we were supposed to go. We were supposed to go to the Liverpool Supporters Club, but apparently that was going to start at 6:30 in the morning, and I was there today. No, I'm not getting out of bed for that. We were hanging, so there was no chance of that.
If anyone missed it, it took you quite a few days to get over that trip. I don't know whether it was all the years catching up with you or all the mojitos and cocktails you had catching up with the one or the other.
It was a combination of a lot of things and very expensive cocktails in Dallas.
Right. It was the Dallas Boys Club, literally, was it?
Yeah, pretty much so, yeah. Yeah, Chelsea and Bayern Munich. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. God. Chelsea and Bayern Munich Supporters Club. I was there for breakfast and beer. It was an English bar.
Oh,
tell you, Morris, fair play to you, because Morris was hitting harder than I was. To the point where we were barely even communicating. We were so hungover. My friend, a pleasure as always. This has been our first Thursday tier talk where we've covered our Premier League previews and our Beat the Bookie show.
Yes.
So this is what we will be doing going forward. So pretty good. Enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments, folks, what you think. As always, smash up those likes. And we really appreciate your company on these shows in the evening time. It's way more fun now that we interact with everyone rather than me and you just chatting away like two guys on record.
Just shooting the breeze.
Yeah, absolutely. Just shooting the breeze.
Is our mashup going live on Monday?
Yep.
Are we doing a Monday mashup, transfer show, the whole shooting match?
Yeah, everything now more or less will be going live. The only thing that won't be going live is when I do some of the interviews for the channel now, because it's just there's no point in not doing it. I'll probably do a live preview for the Fulham game tomorrow evening as well, and then I'll probably do a match reaction on Saturday afternoon if I'm around. Appreciate that, Morris. Great show, gents. As always, lads, smash up those likes and subscribe buttons and stuff like that.
100%.
And especially you, Andrew Ross McCummsky. I'm keeping an eye on you. We're going to be tracking you to make sure.
Will be bleeding hell.
Absolutely. If at least 3/4 of your class when you return to school haven't subscribed to the channel, there's going to be absolute
slaps be getting given. Yeah, 100%.
Big time. We appreciate all your company, folks. Thanks for joining us on the show as you adjust to the kind of new format, as they say. And this is what it'll be like going forward. Normally on the Thursday night, we'll be doing the preview and we'll be doing the Beat the Bookie show. So, as always, we love your input. We love you being on. Well done, lads. Great show. See you Monday. Absolutely, Mark. Mark, you'll be seeing us way before Monday because it will be peak if things go the way we think they're going to go at the weekend.
There's no place to hide in that WhatsApp group, man.
Absolutely. Until next time, my friend, have a safe trip. If people want to contact the show, it's the Upper Tier Podcast at gmail.com. We're on all the socials, the Upper Tier Podcast. And we're also on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music for audio version show. Big year for you, boys. Congrats. Absolutely, Morris. And also with your help, we really appreciate your help and everything that you're doing for us and stuff like that. Does not go unnoticed. Until next time, I shall talk to you soon.